zero out on, or well, zero down on Inferno. I think statistics-wise, things aren't looking very favorable for Heretics. They are looking far better for Team QUESO, and with that, well, we'll just fly right into it, and we'll see if Team QUESO can actually surprise us, perhaps even make this a, well, 1-1 and eventually a free mapper.
And the knife has actually already transpired, meaning that the side choice has been made. Team QUESO will start on that CT side once more, possibly in a favorable position. Will they be able to make it work, however? The USPs on close range, not really too great against the Glocks. Higher fire rate, more ammo in the magazine. And of course, with Inferno being a relatively close combat map, that might actually mean that Heretics might win the first map, possibly the first free, if Team QUESO doesn't manage to bounce back on a force buy.
We'll have to see how they play that out. Nade flying in against Nevera now, but doesn't really do that much damage. Only 20 HP tagged, and with that, it's still being quite delayed. We've got Thinky here with a smoke in his hand, waiting for someone to actually push further in, for him to use that smoke to try and delay a little bit. But for now, not much seems to be happening. There is a, assault being prepared, so to speak, on the bomb site over yonder. But is it actually going to go in? We've got the players on Team Heretics side waiting, but so far nothing's happening yet.
The last two players that were actually playing around the banana area have now also gone back towards A. Here are the smokes and flashes going to pop soon as Mick is trying to pre-fire, but then having to reload as well. First kill will come in for XMS, going in towards the pit area, being contested by an incendiary as well, making it into a 5-on-4. USP will be grabbed. Of course, the pit area is very good for that longer range engagement as XMS takes down Mick as well. Double kill for him, and now we see Heretics going for a plant, and this round is looking quite well for him.
Definitely so. Bomb plant's already down, which means that they can now sort of focus on playing an after plant, and with that they also have a two-man advantage. XMS has got his comfy little position chosen in the pit. It's Thinky who has to try and fight from a distance, who does kill Chicken, but the Chicken's not worth that much. It's the players that you have to aim for.
It's Thinky also being tagged up, and a very uncommon approach, but something which actually might work out wondrously later on, is a save coming in from Team QUESO in the pistol. You barely see it. It's of course not very viable because you want to have more money, but the armor on the side of Jabba could actually be either upgraded or used together with a pistol. And of course the defuse kit from the Claire might actually do something great later on as well. 3 players remaining on the side of Team Heretics. They do win that first round, however. The pistol is in their favor, and possibly they can extend the lead in the coming rounds as well. It's going to be a force buy from the CT side, which might make it a little bit harder.
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting tactic, I dare say that.
Oh, with the defuse kit you have, and of course also the armor from Jabba,
okay,
it's very easy to bring it better. And you even see an MP9 because, of course, the armor is very cheap.
He has the money for it. He can actually pull off that investment, but I do wonder if it's going to be successful. I almost doubt it in a way, but we'll see. It's going to depend on the MAC-10 and the AK in the hands of Maka. Mick here trying to hold it off, but doesn't really get the frag so far. First one goes in, and oh dear. Oh dear.
What was he trying to do? Was he trying to throw a nade or something? Because he knew he was being chased. Lucky even delayed his peak to throw away the bomb just to make sure that they won't lose anything. And Heretics now once more get that open kill, this time on towards Lucky. And I'm a little bit flustered by the side of Team QUESO.
Okay?
No, this hurts my feelings.
Take a deep
I
breath.
expected him to fall back to side and still have a 5-on-5 fight, but now he just throws it all away, and Heretics is now setting up and will go for that B take. However, there has been a rotator, 2 players standing by on either side, and maybe one of which will be tagged up by a molly.
I understand. You expected better, but sadly, you can't always get what you want. But what they might be able to get is Thinky, who just goes for frag after frag, because give that man a deagle, and apparently that's all he needs. Plant comes in now. There is a smoke that destroys, or well, denies the Clown any visibility to potentially prevent the plant from happening. 2v2 now. There aren't really any upgraded weapons that the humans or the Clown managed to get their hands on. You have to make do with the deagles. Humans there with a good peek. After Lucky in that one deag! Unbelievable. Delightfully well played, and with that, Team QUESO gets the defuse and the round win. We didn't get the angle on that one deag, but my lord, I think that was a thing of beauty, and that actually manages to get Team QUESO the round there. Good lord.
What in the world was that? Just getting the first frag on the player being close by. And then, of course, Heretics has to go for a double peek. Yet it didn't work out in actually getting the frag as well. And, of course, that easy 2-0 lead. This time around, of course, they luckily had that bomb plant. Could go for a force buy. However, it seems they might actually go for an eco. Saying that we will lose this round. Possibly. We will invest a little bit. Dealing a little bit of damage on towards the economy of QUESO, which is slightly collapsing already. And if they do buy up those AKs in the next round, and they've already hindered the economy of Team QUESO in this round, they can make it work, get a decent streak going, because, well, there won't be any utility on the CT side.
Baited out, I'd say, that the CT side kind of loses the utility that they have now, and that they don't really stand much more of a chance with it, that they have a much harder time preventing a potential advance from Heretics. And it also really comes down to the frags that they could get. I see a CZ, I see Deagles, you know, and with that I also see potential. Who knows what Heretics can pull off.
You see dreams.
I see dreams. I see so much in the future, but we'll see. For now, let's kind of focus on this third round and see what will actually happen, because it looks like it's going to be Heretics that are actually going to go down banana, and there they have some resistance encountered from Mick. Deals quite a bit of damage, but doesn't really connect it well enough, does not go for a frag of any sort, just leaves Max with, or Maka with only 5 HP left.
Actually, a very good hold so far from the side of Team QUESO. Mick doing a magnificent job baiting with his smoke as well. He should come in towards the B side. Good flash coming in on towards Claren first frag. And of course a second from Maka. That is a clear B side to be planted on, you would dare to say. But where is the bomb? It's outside ruins. Maka, just go for it and go for the plant. The time is running out. 20 seconds left, and now he will be killed by Finky. The time he had has now slipped through his fingers, making it into a 2-on-2 situation. And now humans will be able to be taken down by Nivera. Of course, the brother of Scream soon to fall after a Deagle, or at least an MP9 against Finky, who gets a triple kill for himself. And only, if only, they grabbed that bomb and went for the plant, I think that round would have been theirs, but Heretics threw it all away.
But even if they threw it all away, let's highlight for a moment what they tried to win that round with. For them, this was a bit of a pistol buy, not really much more. There wasn't even armor there. It was basically just an economy-saving measure to be able to actually get a proper buy in the next round. They did way too much damage for that round. They shouldn't have been able to do that much damage. But, well, in the end, Team QUESO allowed it to happen. What they also allow to happen is the Claren coming in clutch again, shining up and showing that he is a critical player for getting those initial frags. Along with Mick, they also take out Nivera, which makes it a 5v3 now. There is some hopping around. Lucky tries to, well, take his shots towards Banana, but there isn't anyone getting fragged just yet.
The worst part is for Heretics now on a buy round will actually do worse than their pistol armor in the previous. But if they manage to win, that economy of Team QUESO would have gone down the rabbit hole and would have never crawled back up, as we do now still see that 5-on-3 situation. So far, a decent position for Team QUESO to be in. But will it turn into a round as well? Will they extend their lead to a 3-1 and then possibly force Heretics back on towards an eco? That all depends on if there will be a bomb plant, of course, as well. Flashbangs to be thrown by Jabba, trying to pick. It wasn't the flashbang, by the way. It was a decoy.
Oh.
Fake me out as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you know, they got you with the decoy. But Mick also got Neximus in the meantime, with Lucky going for a somewhat refrag. You've got Jabba taken out, and it's a 4v2 now. It's somewhat chaotic. Lucky could maybe get something here or there, but it is actually What? Oh, come on. Think he should have definitely had that shot. I'm sorry, I'm just not willing to tolerate that. The Claren does actually get the refrag, goes for the second, and with that, Team QUESO gets the third round. But that was just straight up disappointing, honestly. Kyoshima there from apartments.
But you saw how stressed he was.
Clearly.
He was already moving all over the place. His aim was already a little bit shambling. And now we do see Team QUESO on 3 rounds. But the interesting fact so far is that this was the only round so far that Team QUESO has won where they actually had the opening frag. Something which was completely different from what we saw Team QUESO do on Nuke, where they actually needed to have that opening kill to get every round in they had so far. And now we will see if Heretics will be able to do something on their eco round. Of course, pistol upgrades do come in, but there's a lot of utility. Once more with the pistols, they're doing better than their actual buy round. Mick still gets a kill with his molly that was burning for a long time, but still it's a 4-on-3 situation. Heretics will try to commit towards that B side where some damage has been dealt by Jabba. The rotate is in already. The Claren will try to peek in, will get a first, a second, and a third.
Okay.
Only losing out to Lucky, who gets a double or actually a triple for himself, as Only Humans is alive, and as Lucky is scrambling to get a bomb. It's going to be a 4th round for Team QUESO, but once more chaotic and once more the opening kill for Heretics.
And sadly, Heretics, well, they just can't really seem to transfer it now, can they? Team QUESO doing a much better job. Also all quite centered around, I dare say, the Claren, who really is just coming in clutch once again. That player really proving himself, I'd say, with how well he can get the critical frags when it's needed. I mean, that 3K right there, for example, turns around the entire round, and with that gets Team QUESO the 4th one.
See that P9 rush coming in from Pinky as well, dealing a decent amount of damage on towards Nivera, and Nate in the D-stairs would end his life. However, he's already fallen back, knowing that a little piece of utility would go a long way for Team QUESO. And some would say this is over-aggression, but it works out wondrously, just throwing in that smoke deeply and then just chasing it, trying to clear a banana, and then knowing that the side of Heretics will need to use utility to get control back.
But is it over-aggression, or is it just
It's
a tactic?
working.
You know,
But
like,
you've seen it on the previous map as well.
Yeah.
Heretics can't deal with the aggression, as now they will try to execute towards that A side, but there's a molly in the way.
it's I'd say I think that calling it over-aggression is almost just not doing it any justice. It seems more calculated than that. This time around, though, it is Heretics who are pushing through. Get the frag on Thinky. The hold from Pit by Humans is not good enough. He only gets 1 frag. The Claren does manage to come in there, but the plant is now going towards Heretics. I'd say... Is this starting to look like a save? No, not per se. But
I would dare to say that you'd have to save here. Of course, they have some utility, but they will try to work with. However, the Incendiary will go towards side rather than Pit, and that is usually the hardest position to clear, so that is a little bit interesting. With an upgrade to the M44 MiG, they will, however, now fall back towards the T stairs and try to bring their weapons and, of course, their gear to the next round, meaning we will have a 2nd round for Heretics, but this round they at least played a little bit better. They tried to bait out utility early on. You saw that with a set of utility going towards the A side, Incendiaries being used by Team QUESO, and then went in as a unit, being able to single out certain players, as of course Team QUESO was quite spread out around that A side area.
And you could say that their, well, somewhat worse positioning might have cost them the round there. It's interesting, but so far, Heretics, they are kind of struggling. They aren't doing as well as you'd expect them to, but this time around, it's also the fact that this is Inferno, and Inferno does look more favorable towards Team QUESO. Who knows, though? It's still a bit of a question mark. We're still a bit baffled by the performance from QUESO in the first map for starters, where they got a 14-16 on Nuke. We'll see that, though, how it goes this time around. Let's see if they can actually try and push through on that banana position. It does go well. Maka gets the first frag, allows him to push further. Flash is going out now. Some more utility being thrown, though.
It's going to be Jabba standing by with the Deagle, trying to put some shots in towards the players of the T side. However, it can't connect much, as he will now be on fire as well. Will be chased down towards the dark spot as Claren will bring out that AWP, brings out a Incendiary as well, but still can't hit. This shot will go aggressive. No scope coming in on towards Maka. It's going to be a 4-on-4, almost another kill to come in, but Nivera takes down Jabba eventually. Staying alive for way too long, we dare to agree on that one. New smoke to come in, plan soon to follow, you dare to say, but the bomb is still not on towards the side. And Finky is already rotated, as well as almost every player on Team QUESO, but there's still 2 players battling out around the boiler area on towards the A side, as now the plant will continue. Gio takes down Humans as the sole member alive from Team QUESO who wasn't close by towards this B side. And now the D-Eagle from Finky needs to do the job to get with the AWP of the Claren.
There was actually some noise from Shadow there, I thought, for a moment. Lucky gets the frag at the end, and it's only the Claren left. And what is he going to do now? It's 1v4. He doesn't even get a frag. He goes down to the hands of Lucky, and with that, Heretics takes the 3rd round. So far, it might actually, it might actually become the equalizer now in this next round for them, because the economy on the Team QUESO side is less than ideal. Suboptimal, you could say, or you can call it whatever you'd like, but it's not looking very good, at least. They'll probably have to just make do with some pistols here or there, or maybe even a straight-up save. And killing the chicken, sadly, doesn't award them with any money either.
Oh, but it's good for your mental health, you know. People have punch bags, stress balls, whatever. And this is just one of those things. Just put your knife in it. Luckily, no blood, only exploding chickens. And then you know you're in a better state of mind. Eco coming in from Team QUESO, not the greatest state of mind to be in for themselves. USPs possibly to work with as they go aggressive. It's going to be Vera and Lucky to rack up some kills. More to follow soon, as there will be some team damage, I believe. But there's also the things from those USPs to come in. But still quite a clean round, only losing 1 player. Nivera going relatively low, but Jabba, he's still standing here at the haystack. And he's just waiting for a player to come, but none will show. As soon B-side control will be taken and the bomb will be planted.
It is a bit of a shame that Inferno doesn't really have a hut call out for Jabba. But I do suppose the joke would get kind of old after a while.
Maybe there's a chicken coop somewhere. We call that his hut. There used to be in the old T-spawn before the rework was actually coming in. As we now see Jabba just trying to hunt around, but the last player from Heretics has already fallen back. Now at the T-stairs, just holding a long angle. That means we now have a round coming in for Heretics. I dare to say it's now an equal score, even Stevens. And
even
with a 4-4, Heretics is coming back as well. But we have to say, Heretics is a very late bloomer. First map as well, not starting off too well, then coming back slowly, steadily, not all too well, but eventually winning the map. And now they've also come back a little bit sooner than they did in the previous time on Nuke. The scary part is that Jabba is still on the prowl, looking around to possibly take down Kiyoshima, but he's moved away too far, I dare to say, as Jabba is still trying to go around, but every time he comes around the corner, Kiyoshima moves around one as well. Kiyo has now moved around the wrong corner, losing his life, and the AK to Jabba, looking up to the sky, thanking everyone for their support from the Spanish team, because Team QUESO is, surprisingly enough, actually one of the biggest organizations there. A lot of following on their socials, and I think that will actually help them to have a little bit more confidence going in. At least have that fan group behind them as well. And now we will see that 4-4. At least a buy round once more. Glass cannon from the Claren. Will it be the opening kill for the upper of Team QUESO? Or will Heretics be able to get it once more and put pressure down on their opponents?
Especially important to put that pressure down on your opponents, and with that to kind of whittle them down a little bit. Once again, the Claren gets the opening frag. Maka taken out of the equation, and with that, potentially a good start of the round for Team QUESO. With that, we could see them starting to build up their own little advantage again. You do speak of Heretics being a bit of a late bloomer, but even then I think maybe my expectations are too high. Maybe I just want them to be so good. Maybe I just really...
It's very easy if you look at the numbers.
Yes, exactly. It's all based on their ranking. And the Claren, that is just dirty.
Flashed, smoked, and still he gets a kill. But this is what we said before. The Claren is so strong on that AWP, getting the aggression in, whereas Maka still plays on that AK. He's not doing bad, but it's just not good enough.
That is, I think that's the best way you can describe it. I think it's a bit of a combination. The Claren does have to fall back now and gets eventually hunted out by Nivera. Taken out like so, and now that makes it so that Heretics might actually be able to get onto the A bomb site. Spray down is there. Oh, the humans and Thinky denying it totally, completely. Thinky even getting the second frag there, and now Team QUESO getting the 5th round. With that, we've got Team QUESO going back for the advantage. Economy also being mostly preserved because they didn't really lose that many people except for the Claren, if I'm not mistaken. And so Team Heretics has to... I believe they can buy now, but they're going to be through all of their reserves once again.
Yeah, we do see Heretics trying to make things work, but so far they have trouble making their ends meet. As, well, once more, no AWP, full set of utility on pretty much every player, which is nice to work with, but will they be able to put it to good use? Something they seemingly have struggled with if you compare it to the efficiency Team QUESO has used their utility with. The Claren just playing the normal AWP game. Half an angle, is there a flash or is there a peek? You fall back to the next angle. That's just how you normally play the map of Inferno. Now using his utilities whilst their aggression coming in towards his position. Will go too aggressive. Solid smoke. Didn't feel like he had enough pressure to still play around that. Went aggressive, lost his life. Now we have a lead for Heretics. And look at this wraparound, actually trying to contest the A side from a lot of angles and also cutting off the rotators.
I secretly hope that would have been a lineup. It really looked like it for a moment, but Lucky has some better odds. Also manages to take out Mick there. Nivera in the meantime goes for the double kill. Leaves only Yaba behind. Yaba, what you gonna do? We'll see. He goes to fall back. He has an AWP that he wants to save and keep with himself. And for now, that means Heretics gets the equalizer. Things go to and fro. Yaba gets a nice little exit frag there, but it's going to stay on that. He does not stand much of a chance, and he's actually going to get hunted down. Should anticipate another player here coming from Banana. And by the looks of it, he doesn't, because Kiyoshima is right around the corner. On a bit of an off angle is not really what you can call it, but Yaba didn't really expect Kiyoshima to be there that quickly.
Yeah, we do see the equal score once more, 5-5, and so far this is a very close-knit match. Heretics is doing what they can do, but it's just not enough to actually get an outright lead. However, they have now once more destroyed the utility on the side of Team QUESO, trying to bring in some pistol upgrades, a little bit of armor on towards Mick as well, and a desperate amount of utility, 3 flashes to work with. And of course now the utility from Heretics flying in quite freely, having that AWP on towards Maka finally. And this might actually be a turnaround, because so far the Claren has been the main opper so far on this map. And this T-side op against an eco is a little bit of a stretch, but still of course it could work if the Deagles will peek aggressively.
At the end of the day, on an eco situation on the opposing team, now you'd expect there to be more of those eco frags, more aggressive pushes from Heretics to try and kind of shoot them out, really just deny them any chances to even deal damage. But it is a bit of a risk that you're taking, because you don't really want to, how do I put it, you don't really want to rush in and give them free kills, especially with the angles that they're standing at. In case in point, Nivera doesn't particularly rush in, but he walks in and walks straight into Mick's crosshair. Make that a second kill and a third all around, which means that suddenly we're in a 3v2. A 3v2 that shouldn't be. Maka goes, does get the frag on the Claren, but he's gonna have to, well, pay for it, so to speak. Quite a bit of damage on him, which means that if things go well here, Humans only has to land one shot right, and he could take out Max, make it a 2v1 situation. Now in the...
Wait, there's a Zeus on Jabba.
Oh boy. Oh, is it going to be a Zeus moment?
I think it won't be the most capable weapon on this range, as he will take the USP in his hands. Oh, Zeus coming in, and it will be the step as well. Kiyoshima going down, and Humans with the last frag as well. What a turnaround here for Team QUESO, winning on an eco, with of course a Zeus as well. Previous map they had the knife, this time they have that Zeus. What won't they bring to this series?
I'm honestly baffled at times by how well Team QUESO manages to really just pull this off, you know? It's, once again, see the highlight here, look at Kiyoshima. Doesn't...
I will make the sound, all right?
Are you going to make...
Yeah.
Okay, all yours. Take it away.
That's the sound you always have when the Zeus comes in, and it's just so painful, because you know, the moment you see it, you hear the zap, you already feel the pain of being Zeus and the judgment of your team.
It's the scream of fright. I guess it is kind of fitting, you know, like Nivera screams brother, they use a Zeus.
It's the one way to directly counter him and of course break their momentum. Nades deal a teeny tiny bit of damage on towards the side of Heretics. Of course a little bit more as Kiyoshima takes another hit to the face. But still it's a 5-on-5, and the AWP once more in the hands of the Claren, of course picking it up after that round win. A miraculous round win. Once more started with the pistols, and of course also the Deagle of Vinky, who has been an absolute monster on that teeny tiny, slightly expensive pistol.
But who knows? You know, they might not need much more. Thinking in the meantime, along with humans, hold the site strongly. It's only Kiyoshima that manages to give some return fire. Nivera in the meantime goes for a double kill. And now the A site is completely pulled open. Good opportunities here. Plant should be able to be put down in a moment. Smoke is good. Allows them to perhaps just plant on the default spot. And looks like it's going to be a little bit deeper on the site. 2v3. Yaba can upgrade to the AWP. Might actually fall back now and take this with him.
It's all dependent on Mick. His peak right here. We'll see the molly fly in. No damage being dealt. Just a little bit of a lucky positioning coming in from Heretics. First kill to come in. Mick will get one. Will be turned around. And as unfortunately Jabba can't make it work, it's going to be the 4K for Nivera, dealing a lot of damage so far. And of course Heretics coming straight back in. And that means economy once more into shambles for Team QUESO. Once more in eco, but we've seen something happen before, and that is that in those ecos, they do really, really well.
We'll see if this is going to...
Oh, it's a force buy, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Oh, they actually managed to buy the AWP, a Zeus on Jabba. Most logical investment ever, despite him being able to still buy a Deagle, which he doesn't do. Question mark. But, well, sometimes people just do crazy stuff. As Vinky will go on, the aggression will go down to Lucky. This time it doesn't work around. As we do see Nate also to follow suit. Mick will be tagged up, will fall back, and will the solo player on the B side be contested anymore because, well, he's standing by with a smoke, and I'm not really sure why the Claret hasn't rotated yet.
Those are the mysteries that we might never have the answers to. Maka takes out Mick in the meantime. Now it's a 3v5, and it's not really looking that well. QUESO might actually be getting the upper hand here. And with that, Heretics takes another round. Plant goes in now by the hands of Nivera. And we've got Yaba here, waiting for the smoke to dissipate, and he might actually be falling back even further. It's not really worth the engagement. The best he can hope for is an exit frag here or there. But that's about it, really. It looks like Heretics is actually potentially going to hunt here, although they might not.
The problem is for them, if they're hunting right now, they don't have a very stable economy yet. Surviving with 5 players is huge, especially in this stage of the match. They know Team QUESO has force. Of course, they will have some weapons, and that makes it hard as well to have that hunt in. AWP will be able to get some kills. Of course, the M4 is very good at all the angles, and the fear of Jabba Zeus, immense.
Heretics will Jabba the Zeus.
Jabba the Zeus will be just happy. Heretics will be happy to get that round in, will get that economy. Of course, have to rebuy a lot of their utility, but they will still make some bank. And if they now lose a round, which, well, looking at how we have progressed so far is likely, they can at least bounce back and buy again. And I think that's really what they're hoping for, being able to be more sustainable throughout this end of the first half.
It is a more positive outlook if they can kind of wrap it up nicely. They don't have to struggle for cash, or be strapped for cash, I should say, towards the end, and really just finish out those last few rounds properly and with all the utility, weaponry, and armor their hearts could desire. But what their hearts might not desire is the frag coming in from the Claren there. Once again, the absolute madman opens it up, gets the first kill, and does that also mean that it is the round win for QUESO? We will have to see. And
oh, Kiyoshima gets one kill, will be traded out by humans. That should have been an easy double. But unfortunately, he can't make it work. A little bit of flustered play coming in from the side of Heretics, as Maka luckily brings it back with a double kill. Clean headshots to come in. XMS now, of course, holding down the pit area, bringing it into a 3-on-2. Jabba still on the Zeus. Why does he even have a primary? No, he has a Deagle.
I guess he just...
no, he can't pick it up somewhere. Maybe in the apps area he at least could get an AK. But now
what if he really likes the Zeus?
Maybe he likes it a lot, but still the Deagle might be the more...
Look, second Zeus kill? Come on. Yeah. You have to admit, you're kind of hoping for it.
You have to believe, but still it's a 2-on-3. They're trying to move in, but the time has ticked down so far. Jabba will be flashed by the flash from, I believe, XMS in the pit area.
Zeus,
and
Zeus,
now he will
Zeus,
possibly
Zeus.
get an exit. That's the first one onto the very clean headshot, and now a second possibly as well. At least the player will die by the bomb. Is Jabba with a double, almost a third, and XMS will die in that position unless the bomb is planted far enough away.
Yep.
That is the case, not on the default position. And now we have an 8-6 lead for Heretics, but Once more, happy that Heretics at least saved the money for the previous round, because now they can easily buy, no problem whatsoever. Even an AWP onto Maka if he wants it. And let's see if they can make it into a 9-6 lead. Once more here, those exit frags from Java clean. Just moving away, sliding, cutting the cake. And eventually getting a double, 2 wallbang headshots, not a third one, almost that frag onto XMS, almost indirectly as well. But still, it's a very good round from Heretics.
Molly gets thrown in now, and we are going into the last round of the first half. Potential for Heretics to finish it off on the T side with a 3-round advantage, but equally so, a chance of QUESO to... I keep doubting. Is it QUESO or QUESO?
QUESO.
QUESO. I should know, because I can actually speak Spanish, so it's my own fault.
I know Siesta, I know Cerveza, I know Adios, and that's all I know. Yaba will go down as Mick had that opening kill, but still Heretics is in a world of trouble. Early rotates coming in from the side of Team QUESO, being close on both the Ruins, of course on CT, and that means the Claren will get 1 kill, will be traded out by XMS close by with an AK. Bringing it back into a 3-on-3 situation, but the problem is there's 2 players actually still roaming around. They might actually go for an A-side approach, and XMS is the player to fake B. But you see in the movement of Team QUESO, they are wondering, they're pondering, will it actually be an A-side taken? Well, yes it will be, and their rotate will be way too late, as Nifera is biding his time with the plant, this time on the default position, but it's the last round, so if they don't survive and still win the round, nobody cares.
No, it's not a matter whatsoever for them. It's all about getting the round win and starting the, well, CT side with that 3-round advantage I just spoke about. Is a nice little stepping stone to get close to the double digits. We'll have to see in a moment what the remaining members of Team QUESO do, what they make out of it. And it looks like it doesn't look that good so far. Maka gets the first frag, holds off the site well enough for now. XMS goes for the second, and in the end, Navera finishes it off. Gets the kill on Humans, and with that, we end the first half with a 9-6 scoreline in favor of Team Heretics. Team QUESO, who are going to be facing a 3-round disadvantage, and who now in the second half have to kind of turn things around. Now, perhaps you could say they are going to be on the T side. Maybe it is the T side aggressiveness that leans a bit closer to their preference, so to speak. You've got a player like the Claren who is impeccable at getting opening frags. So who knows if they actually use that skill of his properly, if they actually let him go wild, so to speak, on the, well, T side, then there is potential. They could actually even this out and eventually go for a potential win after all, and with such, actually make it a free mapper situation.
I'm just a little bit scared. If Team QUESO doesn't get their economy working for them and they don't get an AWP on the Claren, will he still be as important? Because that AWP has really been the linchpin, I dare to say, for the side of Team QUESO to get those rounds. Nifera currently standing by with an unsilenced USP just for that audio cue, which confuses people because you never really hear it. Hoping to possibly get a kill, and Kyoshima has been tagged. There's a lot of people actually around that banana area, and there's only 1 player on the side of Heretics playing here. And this is scary. Kyoshima needs to do something crazy, something like Happy did with Deagle a long time ago on Inferno. Now just with a USB tippity-tap, and then we will see a round possibly for the side of Heretics. But the problem is there has been a very solid push from Team QUESO, getting the first kill as well. And they have Ruins control already.
And with that Ruins control, there is good potential to actually get further onto the site, which they now seem to pull off. Bomb plant is already going down. Yaba has a good position here. Could really surprise them if he takes it long enough. Gets 1 frag at least. Navera taken out. Now he's getting that support from Ruins on the bomb side itself. XMS heavily tagged. Eventually gets finished off by Mick, but Yaba now pushing up aggressively and successfully so. Although Humans ends up nicking the frag, it's Thinky who finishes it out in Team QUESO, who actually now grab the first round of the second half. And with that, well, they throw it around a little bit again. Who knows? Is this the first of many? Is this the first of only a few? Or is this the start of well, perhaps then a painful streak in the eyes of Team Heretics then? And perhaps the stepping stone to a 3rd map to the ever so beautiful Vertigo, which, well, we can also see behind us here. And oh dear, I see the pain and the fright in your eyes. I know.
It's like a sour candy, which is just a little bit too sour. Vertigo, not my favorite map, but I'm growing to love it buy every update because it works more into
We're making
my
progress.
eyes.
We're getting there.
It's a force buy from the side of Heretics. It's going to be Maka saving up some money, of course, being the dedicated upper for his team. He wants to be able to buy that lovely weapon later on. But now he's trying to hold off the Team QUESO push. They have some Mech-10s, they have a Galil and one AK to work with. But a decent set of utility now going towards the A side. 2 kills possibly coming in. Yes, indeed. Nivera and Kyoshima will both get one as Kyo gets a second. Also dropping down the bomb. And now we have a 4-on-2. Good taps coming in from Maka. P250 doing the work on the Claren. Of course, not getting any support from Jabba, who's standing in the smoke. And Kyoshima with a third. And that means there's double digits going on for Heretics, winning their force buy round, destroying economy of the T side.
Clearly, Kyoshima doesn't even need an M4 or an AK or anything of the sort. Just give that man a deagle and he'll really just clean them all up. Double digits have been acquired by Team Heretics, and with that, things are starting to look a bit more favorable again. Their economy should be decent enough, although it's still not the best buy in the world. They do have a few recovered weapons to work with to kind of spice things up a little bit and make them look somewhat more positive. On the Team QUESO side, it's sadly less positives. Tech 9 and a, well, I believe a P250 here or there.
We see Maka just smoking off the mid area. Not really the best smoke. Could have done with a little bit of a deeper area. Now the boiler room will get a little bit more room to work with, as they will now also exit with the stuns and stop going out. It's going to be Kyoshima with the first frag. Nivera lucky. Maka all with the follow-up. Only Jabba alive. Running in, of course, with Tech 9 getting 2 kills for himself. But Kyo with the Mech-10 easily recovering this round and bringing it into 11-7 in favor of Heretics. So far, it seems like Team QUESO had a decent pistol, but from that point onward, they seem to be slacking again. It's Heretics just having better utility, better setups, and of course some very decent crossfires.
Crossfire is also not to be underestimated. I think it's also Team QUESO trying to apply the aggressive tactics, and in the pistol round they actually pull that off. That was successful. But the problem is once
they were also lucky with the setup as well.
Exactly, but once they run against Team Heretics actually having some more utility, having some better weaponry, the aggressive approach doesn't really work that well. I guess it's also maybe that the Claren can't really be in his element. He is further onto the side. He isn't on a more aggressive position. And look at the spray down from Lucky here, by the way. Chance is there. XMS is supporting him. Goes for the third frag. Make it not a fourth, but it is Lucky who finishes it off, along with XMS, who in the end makes it a clean 4K for him with the CZ. Team Heretics, a swift round for them there. A 5-round advantage now that is actually building up, and that is getting better and better by the minute.
You just saw XMS running in there. My kills! Can't let him go to waste against an eco. And he got him real good. As it's now a 12. It's an American accent. Sometimes
that's
those Frenchies are weird.
That's like my American accent. That's because I can only really do a very over-exaggerated Southern accent.
Of course, it's easy. It's
the
most fun to do.
Exactly.
As we do see the 12-2-7 line of Heretics doing really well. M4 in the hands of Kyoshima sending by quite aggressively as Nivera and Lucky will both get some kills. It's Lucky with a triple. This time XMS is on the shorter straw as he will go aggressive and fall to the Claren as well. The problem is the only player alive for the side of Team QUESO. Nivera getting the last frag in. And now we have a 13-7 lead from a very close match going through that first half. Heretics have just turned it around now, going in a very commanding lead, streaking round after round, waiting for possibly Team QUESO to do something in return. But QUESO just had their buy round. Now they're back on an eco.
It's, well, frightening almost. They really don't stand much of a chance, especially now. I mean, look at the weaponry in the hands of Heretics. Almost 4 AKs, by the way, by the looks of it, which is just all stolen and nabbed from the enemy team. Starts off well because Maka gets the first frag. The Claren eliminated. And with that, QUESO off to a bad start once again. They are, of course, like you say, on a pistol round. They have the tiniest bits of utility to work with. Really not that much, I'm afraid. And that is just a damn shame for them. That makes things so much tougher, especially now because let's say that Heretics win this round, which is quite the accurate crosser possibility. XMS gets the frag, by the way, and Lucky finishes it off. Gets a second one. Nade now. Last player stuck by T-Ramp, and he is going to get finished off by XMS because XMS is hunting. Gets the third shot and the third frag.
It's 14-7. Heretics is doing a magnificent job coming in, and well, it's rather unfortunate for Team QUESO doing so well on the first map, 16-14. Actually on Nuke, the map pick of Heretics, and now losing it on their own map pick, it's a little bit painful. But so far, Heretics might be winning, and that might actually mean that my and your prediction would be right. And that just makes me a little bit happier.
I mean, a little bit happier, yes, that we're right, but it's almost painful because of the valiant fort that, well, Team QUESO put up on the map Nuke. But we'll see. They continue now, and Lucky's hold on the bomb site is strong, along with XMS. Once again, two quite consistent anchors on that banana position, really proving their worth and leaving only the Claren along with, well, Mick here, and that is just almost worrying to see. It means that Heretics is almost at their map and match points, and that they are going to potentially win the first match of, well, the ever so lovely V.GG Legend Series here.
Yeah, XMS just exploiting the possibility of the utility laying down there, of course, being dropped by the players already dying earlier on. We do see Heretics just biding their time, throwing smoke after smoke, knowing they have that bomb control. And Team QUESO is crying, possibly just weeping, knowing that it might be over right here as Kyoshima also now coming in on the flank. I don't expect the last two players to be anticipating on that. As Kyoshima is playing slow, Lucky gets the kill together with XMS. A map and match point right here for the side of Heretics. And this could be the end of our first best of 3. A predicted scoreline maps-wise. But looking at how they've played, Team QUESO is actually in a very decent spot to do well, also in that lower bracket.
Predicted, yes, but once again, I still find it a bit of a shame. Although I do also see it somewhat expected. It's, you know, it is, when you get back down to it, it is those statistics coming in and somewhat proving that really it is Team Heretics that is the better team, even if they left some of the, well, they dropped some of their balls, so to speak, in the beginning. We'll see now it's 4v3. The Claren is also a bit low HP, and with that, it's not looking too good. Heretics could finish this off in a matter of seconds, depending on who falls next.
And we just see Team QUESO trying to slow it down, hoping Heretics will make a mistake again. Last time around, however, I don't even know if they knew that Kyoshima was on the flank, as XMS is one happy skipping bunny, just hoping to get a spot in, spots a player, throws the smoke, just waits and hopes the player will go through. There are, or at least there is, a flash still in favor of Team QUESO, but they don't use it yet, as they will need it to get on towards the side. They will try to commit towards the A side, however. Two players standing by, of course, from Heretics on either side, with now Maka getting the first frag, will be traded out. 2v1 position right here if they move fast enough, but now they will go through Archway, hoping to clear out the last player, but he's in abs, and it's Nivera just doing what he needs to do. By this time, wait for the rotate, gets the first frag, and now there's only a planter alive. Java, he can't clear him out, but his teammate from Library soon will be able to do so. But Nivera will get the last frag. It's 16-7, 2-0 win right here for Heretics. And I think they've proven everyone right who had them in their predictions, yet possibly a little bit of a sweaty palm for some people.
I suppose it was that first map which was a little bit worrying, but with that, it is Team Heretics getting that second map win, and with that, of course, the match win. The first one of, well, the day so far, and the tournament. And with that, well played by Team Heretics in the end. They had a somewhat frightening moment there for a second, a bit of a, how do you call it, a nail biter, I guess I could say. You'd expect that it was potentially going a bit wrong there, but in the end, it is Team Heretics that proves to be better, that wins the